Hello and welcome back to the Sideline Vision. I am joined, as always, by Ty Wellemeyer, Reece, Leddy, and Sam Dicus. You know what? I'm opening up the floor. Whoever wants to go first can tell me how they're done.
I'm back.
That's right.
He's back from the IR.
You know, I actually once again said as always, and it's really like true less than half the time, I think, that I'm always joined by the three of them. But Reece, Leddy is back. How you doing today?
I'm feeling like I'm not on my deathbed, which is nice. I'm in here, and we get to talk about Belmont sports this week. I missed that last week, so.
Yeah, we've had a little bug going around the office. I got a little bit, so I apologize if I'm somehow more nasally than usual. Ty, how are you doing?
Thankfully, I've avoided the bug going around the office. I'm going to knock on wood quietly, and I'm doing well. It's a Wednesday, and I'm excited to talk some Belmont sports.
And Sam, how are you?
Well, I feel a little left out. Apparently, everybody was passing around the stomach bug at some event I wasn't at because I feel great. Gonna knock on wood quietly, but glad to see everybody's feeling a little bit better.
Well, I didn't hear about the stomach bug. I've just been a light head cold, but maybe there's a stomach bug going around at something else that I also wasn't invited to. But we're going to start off with men's soccer, and by we, I mean me. I'm going to start off with men's soccer. Just one game this past week for the instant replay segment. It was a 1-1 tie versus Western Michigan on Friday. The team still undefeated, technically, despite being 5-0-4, still have yet to lose. Not the most impressive undefeated record, but they're still going, and we're in October now. It's October 1st, the day we record this. You got to be happy still being undefeated heading into October.
Yeah, no doubt. We're going to just ignore the 4 ties and focus on the 5 wins and 0 losses. So this is a successful season so far. I think you're happy with it if you're men's soccer.
Yeah, and I mean, we only have about a month left before the end of the regular season.
Right. Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I believe their last game is in the first week of November, which is the month that comes after October for those of you at home who didn't have to think about it as hard as I did.
The gears were grinding.
They play Evansville in that last game.
There you go.
What a matchup.
What a showdown.
What a matchup.
I'm glad Reece is back.
Yeah.
And then switching over to women's soccer, they picked up a win.
Let's go.
They picked up a
Let's
win.
go.
A big win at that. It was 4-1 over Northern Iowa on Sunday. It was senior day. And the seniors kind of showed out. First goal was from an assist from Olivia Walker, who's a senior, to Kennedy Wise, who is a senior, so a senior-to-senior connection. And then the second and third goal, not by seniors, but the second goal was scored by Reagan Ross with an assist from Lakin Whittington, Michigan native, by the way, actually just north of Kalamazoo, where Western Michigan University is from, who men's soccer just tied with.
No one's going to care about that.
But I do. And I saw it and I thought, I have to mention this. I don't even remember what city she was from now. But anyways, so Lakin Whittington to Reagan Ross for the second goal. The third goal went then from Reagan Ross to Lakin Whittington, who put it in. So a little back and forth there in the middle of the game. And then the Bruins capped it off. The fourth goal was from senior Eliza Paisley, assisted by senior Sammy Bird. Couple of senior to senior connections on senior night, and it's just good to get a win on senior night and good to have the senior show out.
Yeah, good to get a win. I want to shout out Kennedy Wise, a noted friend of the program. I texted her. I said, "Hey, congrats on the win." She said, "Thank you so much. I've been listening to the podcast." And I said,
"No kidding."
I'm dead serious. And I said, "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry." But yeah. Congrats to them. They got a win. It felt like we've been waiting for this for it felt like a month. So congrats to them.
Not quite a month, but it has been 6 games. So good to stop the skid.
Yeah, it did also jump them up to 5th place in NBC standings.
There you
We
go.
love to see it. We love to see it.
And that's all for soccer. In this past week, we are going to pass it over to Sam with volleyball.
Well, volleyball beat Murray State 3-1 in their first match of last week. They lost that first set 25-19. Then they rallied back in a big way, winning the next 3 sets a combined 75-38. They had 6 separate 4 or more nothing runs throughout the match. Ended the match with 54 kills, 9 aces, 7 blocks, and 49 assists. So that's pretty balanced effort all around. They were led by Emily Warmenhoven with 14 kills. Lily Lutz had a dominant day serving the ball. She had 3 aces to go along with her game-high 18 digs. Then Bella Mathis and Alexia Smallin combined for 9 blocks. Switching over to Indiana State, went the other way. They lost 3-1. They lost the first 2 sets, won the third, and then lost a heartbreaker 4th set, 25-23. They just could not fend off Indiana State, who won the first 2 sets 50-38, went on 4 runs of 4 more consecutive points across the 2 sets. They battled back after the break and won the third set 25-16, had a little momentum going their way, and just couldn't capitalize it. They finished with 57 kills, 5 aces, 6 blocks, and 53 assists. Similar stats to that Murray State game, but Indiana State is a better opponent, and it wasn't enough. And then looking at some stats, Jordan Jaikovsky, 20 assists against Indiana State, her 4th straight match with 20 or more assists, and her 13th consecutive match with double-digit assists, and she also got her first career kill. Then Emily Warmenhoven once again led in kills with a game-high 16. And that dropped Belmont to 4th in the MVC standings. Indiana State is 7th after getting swept by 8th-seeded Illinois State, and Murray State still dead last.
It's early in the season. I think they can afford a loss. I was actually showing Nick the clips that Belmont's Twitter was posting, and it looked like they were playing in a recreational gym. It was really weird. So just maybe a weird atmosphere contributed to that, because it didn't look like there were fans there. It looked like they put up like a wall partitioner like you'd see in a rec gym. It was a weird environment, let's just say that. So I think this is a loss you can afford to have.
Yeah, I mean, granted 4th in the conference, but you're still 10-3 on the season. It's you lose 2 out of 3, and you don't want to hit the panic button. I mean, maybe you do want to hit the panic button, but then sometimes you gotta take a step back and be like, okay, we're 10-3. We'll probably be okay.
They've played a lot of really good volleyball already, so I feel like if they were 7-7 heading into a 1-1 conference record, that would be a whole different story. But with them having, like you said, that 10-3 start, I mean, that's really good volleyball. You've shown that you know how to win, you know how to close out some of these games, and it'll come in conference play, because conference play is a completely different ordeal.
For sure.
I mean, I feel like for volleyball, we really haven't seen a game where they've kind of fought for it, like on each side. Like, it's always been lopsided. It's always been 3-1, 1-3. The only really close ones were against Siena and Columbia, but even though those games don't really matter as much in terms of conference play. So, I don't know. I don't really know if I've seen any games where we can kind of predict where they're going to be closer in battle with their MVC opponents, or it's the other way around. Because Murray State, 3-1, Indiana State, 1-3. Like, you know.
Yeah. Well, going over to tie now with men's golf.
Yeah, men's golf tied for 5th place at the SIUE Dolik Invitational. I want to shout out freshman Jack Doyle. He notched his first top 10 finish, tying for 10th. Always good to see the young guys contribute for the team.
So now here's a pedantic question. Is it really a top 10 finish if you're technically in a group of 11 people?
The Belmont website, Nick Rampe said he finished top 10, so I wanted to shout him out.
No, he did.
Congrats to him.
I've really just felt the urge to be annoying out of nowhere, and I had to act on it.
We can only hope Jack Doyle's not listening to this podcast, because he's just like, dang, Nick Rampe just discounted my...
Mr. Doyle, my sincerest apologies. I never meant to discount anything. Congratulations. 10th is, I get lucky if I finish 10th when I golf in a group of 4 people. So I'm terrible at golf. But we're going to keep it with golf, but switch the host. Reese, what have you seen in women's golf?
Well, in women's golf, they tied for 7th at Butler in the Butler Invitational in Indianapolis, Indiana. Sophomore Sloan Biddle led the Bruins as she tied for 9th place with a mark of 220. She shot a final round 75 on Tuesday, and it was also her 2nd straight top 10 finish.
Out of how many people, Reese?
Out of 82 instead of 11, Sam.
Quite impressive.
Quite impressive indeed. Reese, keeping it with you, what's up with women's tennis?
So they went to Normal, Illinois to face Illinois State in the Redbird Invitational. And freshman Mia Jones, who comes all the way from Sydney, Australia. Taki, do you have any Australian accents? I feel like you'd be good at that.
I feel like if I do it right now, it would offend.
Fair enough.
That's why he's asking you to do it, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying not to get the podcast canceled today,
good.
guys.
That's good.
But she won her single flight. with a 6-1 score and a 6-3 win over Drake's Jordan Dukey in the third singles flight final. So that was pretty much it for women's tennis.
Congrats to her. We'll take the win.
Shout out to Mia Jones.
And back to Ty to finish us off with instant replay. What happened in cross country?
Yeah, so men's cross country finished 15th out of 26 against teams such as Kansas, UCLA, Vandy, Nebraska. This was at Missouri, by the way, in Columbia. Senior Andrew Hamill led the Bruins in 48th place. So not bad, not great, just good. We'll take it. And then women's finished 16th out of 26. Sophie Nichols from England led the Bruins in 58th. I want to shout out Clara Crane. She beat her personal best by 5.3 seconds, so it's great to see the improvement.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as we always do, taking it from the past to the future, I think we all have the same sports, but let's start with Sam with volleyball. What's coming up in this week?
Yeah, so we got Evansville on Friday. They're 4-10 on the year, 0-2 in the MVC. They're ranked 9th in the conference. And last year it was a mess in Evansville. They were 6-24 and 5-13 in the conference. So that's why they brought in Zach Weinberg, first-year head coach, taking on our very own first-year head coach Fritz Rosenberg. So interesting to see how that'll play out. Don't let that 4-10 record fool you just yet. They've played some quality opponents. Bradley and Southern Illinois in our conference, pretty good teams, and then played against Michigan State, who is very good. So don't write them off just yet. And I think when Belmont plays them again on October 24th, this will look like a different Evansville team, not really a finished product yet. And then we got Southern Illinois on Saturday. They're 7-7 on the year, 2-0 in the conference, and ranked 3rd. Last year they went 10-19 and an abysmal 3-15 in the conference. So then they brought in another first-year head coach, Brittany Harris, who has a career record of 310 and 178.
Good Lord.
So she knows what she's doing, but once again, starting to make those ties with these first-year players. And they've beat 2 weak conference opponents, Murray State and Evansville. They'll play Indiana State on Friday. So, of course, recording this on Wednesday, that Friday game against Indiana State will be a good litmus test for Belmont to see what they got on Saturday.
Absolutely. And then coming back to soccer, women's soccer, just one game this week. They play Sunday versus Murray State. A little bit of a rivalry game. Hopefully getting hot at the right time. Obviously 4-1 win. Kind of the most explosive we've seen the offense all season, and hopefully a sign of things to come for the rest of the season. And then men's soccer has 2 matches. First, they play Bowling Green at home Friday. And then Tuesday, they travel to Louisville to play Louisville. Louisville 5-3-1, but whenever it's a bigger school, I always check to see who they played. Earlier this year, Louisville defeated number 3 Stanford. They're currently ranked number 3. I believe they were the number 1 ranked team in the country for men's soccer at the time that Louisville defeated them. So should be a big challenge for men's soccer to try to keep that undefeated season alive. And next up now, we will go over to Reece with men's tennis.
Men's tennis will play at home in the Horizon League. Stefan Bedovelli and Sabi Roy will get the bye for Friday's match for doubles. Will Eklund and Charlie Robin will face Youngstown State, Dominic Von Bank, and Matteo Girardelli. Morgan Woodson and Eli Mazurski face Rafael Lafleur and Alex Millette, also of Youngstown State.
I gotta say, I'm very proud of you on those names. That was much smoother than I thought it was.
We
gonna
have
be.
no idea if they were right, but dang it, he got them out of his mouth pretty well.
It looks good to me, and I was sitting here with bated breath, thinking, "What's Reece gonna do to these names with his New Hampshire accent?" But you flowed through those, and I'm proud of you.
I just want to imagine Youngstown State's listening to this podcast on the bus, and everyone's like, "Dang, this guy butchered all of our names."
Like, oh, good job. What are you talking about?
Still possible, possible. But I'm proud of you. So
thank you. But going over to women's tennis, they play Lipscomb. We hate Lipscomb. Lipscomb is the scum of the earth.
Bold fighting words.
Do we want to fight Lipscomb?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We own this boulevard. It's ours. But I don't think we'll own it with women's tennis. We have an overall record with Lipscomb. It is 2 wins to 12 losses. Lipscomb in overall history. Their most recent match was last March, and they won. Lipscomb won 4-0. And then in 2025 at the Belmont Lipscomb Invitational, Belmont did manage to win in doubles in some matchups, but didn't really win the whole match. Weren't really that much of a presence against Lipscomb. So, the Boulevard might be theirs this matchup, but we can hope.
Still has our name on it.
That is true.
That is true.
At the end of the day, it says Belmont Boulevard, not Lipscomb Boulevard. So
I just want to point out that was the most Boston-sounding last
March.
that I've ever heard.
March.
It's actually not Boston. It's New Hampshire.
It's New Hampshire.
yeah,
That's an accent I'll make fun of. I can't do the Australian, so I'm not going to even try. But but I will go at the Northeast all day. Ty, why don't you finish us off? Little look ahead, even further than usual. I know you're antsy, and I know you want to talk about it, and you've been wanting to talk about it for a while. So go right for it.
Men's basketball, we're getting into the thick of it. We're about a month away. So we're getting those media days, the preseason rankings and everything. Belmont finished 5th in the Missouri Valley Conference preseason rankings. Illinois State got 34 out of 46 first-place votes, followed by Northern Iowa, Murray State, Bradley, and Belmont. So that was the top 5. 5th is, I think, fine. We don't know a lot about this team, and the teams in front of Belmont are more established with returning players. So, makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. Belmont did kind of hit the transfer portal this year, so kind of some question marks in terms of how productive some of these guys are going to be. A lot of players coming from maybe bigger schools in smaller roles to hopefully play a bigger role here at Belmont. Should be an interesting season for sure.
It should be, because over Thanksgiving, guys, it's the Coconut Hoops event. I think it's the Coconut Classic. It's in Fort Myers, Florida from November 24th to the 26th. They announced the participants and they've announced the matchups. Belmont will open with St. Francis, who the website says was a 2025 NCAA tournament participant. They lost in the playoff, like the play-in game.
Yeah.
So saying that they were a tournament participant is like saying that I am a tennis player.
That's like a literal participation trophy.
Yeah, it's a literal participation trophy. The winner of that game will take on either Troy or Toledo. So decent mid-major schools and then St. Francis.
Well, there you have it. We are now moving on to the final topic of our show, which I feel like Ty low-key just felt like throwing that in to get a second freestyle topic in. He just wanted to talk about it.
It's the Coconut Classic, Nick.
Okay.
I have to talk about the Coconut Classic.
I will start us off with my topic, and my topic is ties in football. Don't like it. Well, we'll start there. We had the Packers and the Cowboys finish in a 40-40 tie. Now, are ties un-American? Yes, especially Ty Wellemeyer. But other than that,
Oh, you know me.
ending a game with the same score, especially in American football, it feels wrong, especially when it's 40-40, going back and forth the whole game. And then the next thing you know, the clock's running out and they're kicking a field goal just to tie it. It's just, you feel a little empty inside. Now, granted, it is also the funniest thing ever every single time they tie. But I don't know. I wanted to hear what you guys think about ties, but really just, it's something that hasn't sat well with me since Sunday.
I want to thank the Packers and the Cowboys for tying the game so all my family members could text me and go, "You can end a tie in an NFL game?" Just like they could not wrap their heads around it. I also want to thank Green Bay for almost not getting that field goal off. The worst clock management I've ever seen in my life. But they did. So we got a 40-40 tie. So that's how it ends.
remember when we used to do 2 overtimes in regular season?
Mm-hmm.
I missed that. Why can't we bring that back?
I mean, a double overtime game was like, that was the news for the year.
Yeah.
I missed that. I remember they used to talk about that in Buffalo Wild Wings commercials. Like, you stay for double overtime. And I was like, wow, I'm fired up. And now I want some wings and I want to watch some double overtime football. And college football is the only one doing that. And even the way they do it, I don't like. But at least they don't tie.
That is very true.
This might not work, but I get you don't want to go to double overtime if the game sucks. What if you let the fans vote? Do you want to see another overtime? If you are tired of this game, we'll tie it right here, right now. But if you're into this, let's run it back. Let's put some time on the clock.
Chris Collinsworth.
Yeah.
Well, here's a guy who doesn't want to see double overtime.
Sam, ever the diplomat, I actually think just gave me the best answer I could have possibly had for that. And we are rewarding you with your topic next. And by we, I mean I am, because I get to control what goes next. Sam, what is your topic and why are you so fired up to talk about it?
October baseball. I know that yesterday was September 30th. We're recording the first day of October, but September 30th baseball was some pretty good October baseball in my eyes. I love baseball. It's my sport. If nobody can tell, I've got defending world champion Los Angeles Dodgers jersey and hat on, and it was just a great day of baseball, and it's got me really excited about this year's playoffs. Starting off with starting pitching. We had some aces just go out there and just be dogs. Tarek Skubal, 7 2/3 innings, 3 hit, 1 earned, 14 strikeouts. That's right, 14 strikeouts. Who outdueled Gavin Williams, who went 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, and gave up 2 unearned runs. He picked up the loss without giving up an earned run. His ERA in the playoffs is still 0, but he's 0-1. That's just unfair to me. Then we got Garrett Crochet of the Red Sox, 7 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned, no walks, 11 punch-outs. Telling him, I will stay in this game. I will hand the ball off to Chapman. Then you've got Max Fried, who, in my opinion, should have been given a longer leash. 6 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 6 strikeouts. That Yankees crowd, every time he got that third strike, would crash the audio. It was so loud.
I thought something was wrong with my TV for a second.
It was insane. And then the night game, Blake Snell, in the 2020 World Series, he was on the other side of the victorious Dodgers, and the whole thing was Kevin Cash pulled him in Game 6. Roberts let him go. 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 9 Ks. Great starting pitching. And then I love just watching the managers go out there and throw their dudes. Red Sox handed the ball off from Crochet to Aroldis Chapman. Chapman got a 4-out save, and the last 3 were nail-biting because he loaded the bases with nobody out and pitched out of it. 2 strikeouts and a weak pop-up. And then I was invested in the Cubs and the Padres. Cubs pulled their starter a little early, gave the ball to their usual closer to get 5 outs across the 5th and the 6th innings. Did it. They threw all their dudes, 4 2/3 perfect innings from the bullpen. Today, not so much. But then looking at the Padres, they said, here's Mason Miller, try and hit 104 miles an hour on the outside corner. He got, I think it was 7 outs, all via a strikeout, and hit 1 batter with a slider that got away from him right then. But I mean, it's so much fun to watch these guys go out there, and it's so much fun to watch the Yankees just lose they did. And Aaron Boone, I get that he brought him to a World Series, but I think his job should be on the line because his lineup construction and his game management was just off. New York, very dependent on the long ball, using it as a crutch. You saw Aaron Judge can't throw with that elbow injury. They're going to run on him all day. They don't run the bases well, and they don't hit with runners in scoring position. That's going to be a fun series. And then switching over to the AL Central, which I think is the most Midwestern series of all time. I have not seen that many bunts since Little League. I mean, they are scoring so many runs just in the infield from the 8th inning on of the second game. Excuse that. Before that, I mean, it was just infield ball. And some people would be like, this is boring. I loved it. When there's so little offense that every pitch matters that much more, it's the best part of the season. And it was just some good old-fashioned baseball. And I'm excited to see how this all plays out.
Yeah, a lot of fun. I absolutely love postseason baseball. I loved it a little more yesterday when the Tigers won versus earlier today when they lost. But like you said, that series has been, I mean, very stressful for me to watch, but very, very exciting and very enthralling. I mean, that game came down to Jose Ramirez getting too far off third base and getting caught up. Reece, your topic was about the Red Sox beating the Yankees, and actually, as we speak, they are in a 2-2 tie.
Yeah, I just checked it, and Trevor Story just brought in Duran and Rafaela to just tie up the game in the bottom of third. But Red Sox, they beat the Yankees. Always a good sight to see in postseason baseball when the Red Sox beat the Yankees. Red Sox have been dominating the Yankees all year. Like, what is the record? 9-4 against the Yankees.
It's been lopsided.
Yeah, you love to see it. You personally love to see it. I know a lot of people who hate the Yankees who aren't even Red Sox fans, but as someone who went to the games this season, I actually got to meet Kevin Millar from the 2004 famous ALCS comeback story. Just awesome. You just love to see it. I know I'm spoiled as a Boston sports fan. And when I say, guys, we haven't been to a post-game series since 2021, Nick rolls his eyes at me. So, I don't know. You just love to see it. You love to see a good rivalry, and you just love to see the Red Sox beat the Yankees. So, yeah.
Ty, how do you feel about you're the only person sitting at this table without a team in the postseason? How are you feeling watching as a true neutral perspective?
It's been a fun playoffs so far. A lot of very good games. Like Sam said, the pitching duels have been amazing. Just watching Kershaw go out there and dominate the Yankees, and then watching Fried go out there and ignite the crowd every time he struck out a Red Sox. It's been a great playoff so far. I do just want to say I wore a red shirt yesterday. The Reds got killed. I wore a Cubs shirt today. The Cubs lost. I am now accepting Venmo requests. I will wear your opponent's shirt so your team can definitely win the game.
I will be taking you up on that.
Okay.
I can't take any chances.
Does this work for other sports?
I don't know yet. We haven't tried.
I need to get you a Michigan State jersey for next week.
Hey, easy now.
Hey there.
Easy.
Hey there.
Well, Ty, we are going to finish off with you. Probably have the most interesting topic, I think. Go for it.
Yeah, so the WNBA is kind of in lingo right now, dare I say. So Napheesa Collier, the star player of the Minnesota Lynx, also the union vice president, got up in front of the media on Tuesday and basically called out Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. Now, Kathy Engelbert's been very controversial recently anyway, but some of the stuff that Napheesa Collier said in this exit interview just blew my mind. It's such malpractice from the commissioner. So I'm going to read you guys some quotes. Basically, they had a conversation at Unrivaled, which is Collier's basketball league. Collier said that Engelbert told her only the losers complain about the referees because there's been a referee complaint in the WNBA that, the refs are letting the league be too physical. That's why all these players are getting hurt. So only losers complain about the refs. And when asked about young stars who drive revenue for the league, Engelbert said Caitlin Clark should be, quote, grateful she makes $16 million off the court because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. And then lastly, Collier said the commissioner also told her players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them. That coming from a commissioner of the league, that's not a good sign.
It reads like a supervillain monologue.
It is, in my opinion, the worst thing a commissioner's done since Rob Manfred called the World Series trophy a piece of metal.
Yeah, that was a tough one. But that's what's so interesting about a lot of these commissioners right now. It feels like they don't love the sports that they commissionate. That's not the word.
It's a bad look for the league when every player in the WNBA is going on Instagram and saying she's not lying.
Yeah.
Even the response from Kathy Engelbert was like, didn't deny anything. It was just, I'm disappointed that Napheesa saw our conversations as that. Or she characterized our conversations as that. No denying of anything, none of that. So definitely not a good look for her. There are now reports that she is going to get ousted as the commissioner. I would be shocked if she stays, especially because they are trying to work on a new CBA that expires on October 31st. And if they do not agree on a new CBA, we are heading towards a lockout.
Yeah. Should be really interesting. And I don't know, it's always an odd landscape in sports when Roger Goodell is like not in the top 3 most hated commissioners.
I mean, you could even say, what's Adam Silver doing?
I was about to bring that up. He keeps talking about NBA Europe teams being involved, and it's just NBA's in a weird spot.
He called his own product Highlight League.
He did, yeah.
Which is just ridiculous.
That was just a stupid thing to say.
Yeah.
It's just a stupid thing to say.
I think, though, Kathy Engelbert might be the worst commissioner.
She might be public enemy number 1 right now.
Napheesa Collier literally said the worst leadership in the world. The worst leadership. Like, that's the VP of the union saying that. The VP.
And quite frankly, if anyone would know, it would be her.
It would be the VP. I mean, it's so ridiculous that this happened, that this got out. They need a new commissioner.
Yeah, with all the growth that we've seen with the WNBA, which has been great, there have been an equal amount of growing pains, and this feels like the cherry on top right now.
The whole Caitlin Clark comment got me laughing like so hard because Caitlin Clark was a star at Iowa before she made the WNBA. If anything, Caitlin Clark made the WNBA bigger.
I almost think that Caitlin Clark was a bigger star at Iowa than she is now in the WNBA.
She is. I mean, she was a superstar at Iowa. Now she's been hurt a lot this season. I don't think she played that much.
She didn't, and she had, quite frankly, a pretty rough
It
start
was a
to the
rough
season. So, I don't know. All very interesting, but
Definitely worth following leading up to that Halloween deadline.
yeah, for sure. We got about 1 month until then, and a lot needs to be addressed. Well, that's everything we have on the docket. Does anybody else have anything to bring up before we say goodbye?
Until next week.
Until next week.
Until next week,
We will
prepare for a lot of hockey talk coming up.
Oh,
The hockey season
Oh, boy.
is just about upon us. I'm really trying to lock in on hockey this year. So, and Reese is giving me a really scary look while he's nodding, saying, yes, please, I need somebody to talk about it with.
Little psychotic of a smile there.
Well, until next time, we will see you next week with another episode of Sideline Vision.